Hey, it's Fitz, and I'm back again, and this time I'm here to talk about dieting, only because it's probably the question I get the most from people, and we are inundated in society with dieting. Every time you turn around, you're hearing about a new diet. There's Atkins, there's paleo, there's keto, there's gluten-free, there's intermittent fasting, long-term fasting, there's all kinds of things. Basically, it's overwhelming. People start them and they stop them. It's just mind-boggling. Okay, first of all, I'm going to take it to the bare minimum. Dieting is not complicated, and I'm not trying to be condescending or anything. Dieting itself is basic math. The problem is in society now we're becoming chemists instead of mathematicians. We all know basic math, but the chemistry, the sitting there and the way I love the analogy of using a car with our body because basically our body takes us everywhere we need to go. So think of it this way: gluten-free, keto, the paleo diet, things like that. That's changing the fuel, adjusting the fuel. So it's fine if you imagine that you're driving a race car and you want to play with the fuel. You want to increase the octane, or you want to, maybe try to get more mileage, and you sit there and you use flex fuel, things like that. Okay, working on fuel, that's great. But let's be honest, most of us are not currently or haven't been driving a sports car as far as our body. Most of us are probably at some point have been driving an old model pickup truck and the bed is full. And instead of driving around trying to figure out how to, become more efficient hauling that full bed around, why not just open the tailgate and dump the bed out? Okay? And that's math. Basically, get rid of stuff that you have. You're carrying extra weight around, get rid of it, okay? So what I'm going to talk about today is some basic numbers you've probably heard about. You've probably never put them all together, okay? First number we're going to think about is you hear 3,500, okay? 3,500 calories is what 1 pound of fat is comprised of, okay? Now get a load of this. You hear that it's safe to lose about 2 pounds a week, or most times people say a reasonable diet should be 2 pounds a week. 2 times 35 is 7,000, okay? Now look at it this way. There are 7 days in a week, okay? So if you want to lose 2 pounds a week, and that's 2 times 3,500, so 7,000 divided by 7, 1,000 calories. Simple math, okay? Now, how do you get rid of 1,000 calories a day? Well, stop. First of all, adjust your diet. Instead of sitting there and trying to say, I can only eat this food, I can only eat this, how about everything in moderation? Look at your normal diet and say, okay, well, now you can be specific if you want. You can actually be one of those charters where you actually just mark down all the calories you take in. Or I got a cheat sheet here just to find out. But the average American takes in 3,600 calories a day. Okay, it doesn't sound like a lot. Bad news is we're not supposed to take in that much. A very active person, very active male should take in 3,000. A very active female should take in 2,400. A sedentary man should take in 2,600, and a sedentary woman 2,000. Okay, so that's why we're having a problem with weight in our society. Okay, so let's put it this way: instead of figuring all that out, just look at your normal diet and sit there and say, okay, well, I usually eat this for breakfast, this for lunch, this for dinner. If you want to take 500 calories out of your diet each day, or 600 or wherever you want, what you're going to do is to get that 1,000 calories out daily so that you reach the 7,000 calories a week out, you can either increase your exercise, increase or decrease the amount of food you take in, or balance it out. Maybe 500 calories of exercise a day and 500 calories of less food a day. Okay, we'll look at it that way. Ballpark, 500 calories is basically a little more than 3 12-ounce Cokes, not Diet Cokes, but regular Cokes or any type of soft drink, or a Big Mac. A Big Mac, I think, is 520 calories. So think about it. It's like, okay, if you go out to eat and every day, you do have a Big Mac, fries, and a milkshake or something like that. Okay, how about getting a quarter pounder with cheese, no fries, and a Diet Coke? Okay, however you want to do it, but adjust the numbers. Make it more simple for you to figure out, okay? Exercising. For the average person, let's say about 150 pounds on this ballpark. 150 pounds, hour of exercise, hour of jazzercise, about 500 calories. Okay, now I know not everyone jazzercises, but I know a friend who does. And I will post a link below this on my site showing you some places where you can go and you can find out what the average amount of calories burnt for activities are by your weight and the amount per hour, okay? But I'm saying bring it down to simple math, okay? Now what'll happen is if you can decrease your diet by 500 calories a day, or 600 or 700, whatever's easier for you, and or you know, some days you might increase your calories and you sit there and you splurge, you eat a little more, or I'm sorry, you increase the amount of exercise you do. But that's it. Take 1,000 calories out a day, or get rid of 1,000 by burning and taking less food, and each week you'll lose about 2 pounds. Now, where some people get frustrated is that first week they lose 5 pounds, and then they only lose 1 or 2 after that. Here's where it gets tricky, okay? If you eat a lot of carbs, which I used to, I was a carb fiend, okay? My idea of dieting would be I just eat vegetables and pasta, a whole bowl of pasta with fresh vegetables and everything, and I wasn't wondering why I wasn't losing weight. Well, what is it? Carbohydrate breaks down into glycogen in your system, and it's stored as glycogen. The bad part is that's why you bloat with water, and you hear that you get real full after eating a carb diet. Each gram of carbohydrate requires approximately 3 grams of water to store along with it in your body. So think of it this way: if you eat 2 pounds of pasta, I remember in my college days, I would eat a 16-inch pizza and wash it down with a pitcher of beer. Okay, so I could literally, my wife still doesn't believe it, but he said I used to gain I would fluctuate between 5 and 10 pounds in a weekend. But if you eat, like, let's say a 2-pound pizza and a pitcher of beer, you could typically be 6 or 7 pounds heavier, because 2 pounds of carbohydrate and then 3 times that in water. So you have almost 8 pounds of weight by just your body storing the glycogen and that amount of carbs. Okay? So what I was trying to say is, don't get obsessed with all the special diets out there. They're great. They all have their place. But if you do want to get into those kind of specialty diets, first of all, realize, I said before, you're dealing with chemistry. What's the problem with chemistry? We all learned in the labs when we were taking it in class. If you mix certain things, you have chemical reactions. So if you're anemic, you might not want to go on a low-protein diet or low-meat diet. If you have high cholesterol, the Atkins diet might not be the best thing for you if you decide that you're going to go on all bacon, okay? Common sense. Now, I recommend that you talk to a doctor, or better yet, have your doctor get a nutritionist who specializes in things like the different diets. Have your doctor share your lab work with the nutritionist and have the nutritionist tweak it. But for those of you who are just looking for the basics, just to lose some weight up front before tweaking, get rid of, like I said, the pickup truck and get back to having your Porsche or your Mustang or whatever kind of body you want, I would recommend just do the simple math, okay? 3,500 calories burnt is a pound of fat, and take it from there, okay? Now, I don't want to dumb it down, but I hope this is just something that gets you back into tune as far as helping you understand dieting. I basically think that people overthink it, and when you just look at the basics, I like the idea of everything in moderation, and it's a lot easier for me to sit there and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to walk an extra 20 minutes tonight because I'm going to have this cookie for lunch, or I'm going to have a scoop of ice cream, and I just balance it that way. I think that's the way to go. So hopefully that's helpful to you. If you have specific questions, please feel free to leave comments down here or anywhere on my Fun Fitness page. Hopefully you're enjoying these videos. I'm having a blast putting them together. Take care, and until next time, have a great weekend.